Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to call to order the Gladstone Community Center Advisory Board meeting on this Tuesday, December 17th, 2024 at 3:31 p.m. I will now read into the record that the City of Gladstone is abiding by guidelines outlined in House Bill 2560, which requires the governing body of the public body, to the extent reasonably possible, to make all meetings accessible remotely through technological means and provide opportunities for members of the general public to remotely submit oral and written testimony during meetings to extent in-person oral and written testimony is allowed. Therefore, this meeting will be open to the public, both in person and virtually, using the Zoom platform. All right, so our agenda for today, we will have some business from the community center staff, business from the board, and business from the audience with a foundation update. Haley, would you please do roll call?
Evelyn Johannesson.
Here.
Sylvia Kellner.
Here.
Simona Gergashon.
Here.
Mindy Prosky.
Here.
Roxanne McMullen.
Here.
Josie Whitaker.
Here.
Sharon Howard.
Here.
All right, thank you so much. Do I have a motion, please, to approve the meeting minutes from our November 19th, 2024 board meeting?
We actually do not have minutes in this packet. We have not received them back yet. So we will
Scratch
those.
that
We'll approve those at the
request. All right, so we might have 2 meeting minutes to approve at our January 21st meeting. Stay tuned. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't notice that. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Michelle, for going over business from the community center.
All right. Thank you, Mindy. So we'll go ahead and start off with November's events and activities. Continuation of United Healthcare, Medicaid, Medicare representative rented out our library for the last 2 months and did free presentations to help people get up to date on the new Medicaid and Medicare laws that were put into place and get people signed up for health insurance during open enrollment. That has ended since in the beginning of December. So he's no longer there. But it worked out well. We had a ton of public response where people came in and just got advice. So number 4, John Wetton Elementary. We are back in full swing with our Pen Pal program. We also have the kids coming in. 4th and 5th grade teachers have signed up to come in, bring their class. They eat their own lunches or they bring snacks. They play bingo and they are working on their interview questions that at the end of the year, they're going to put together a bound book for the community center with different interview questions about different participants that come in. So we're excited to see the finished project with that. November's monthly report. It's included in your packet. There's a lot of info in there. Just kind of goes over everything that has been going on at the center. It's increasingly busy if you look at the numbers from packet to packet with participants that are coming in every day, activities that we're doing, and the amount of people that are coming to the activities. So that kind of just goes over that. It also goes into our Friendsgiving, which I'll let Bonnie talk a little bit deeper into, but we had roughly 125 participants or community members, really, some people that we had never seen before, come in for our Friendsgiving meal. We had a professional chef that came in and did all the food, and the foundation, of course, sponsored that for us. And we'll let her talk a little bit more about that, but it was beautiful. And there's pictures in the packet to show a little bit about that. And then to finish off November, we did Thanksgiving deliveries. Our volunteers did for homebound participants. It's something that St. John's Church up in Oregon City does every year. And they always call us and ask us if we have participants who don't have family, have nowhere to go for Thanksgiving. And our volunteers go up to Oregon City, pick up full spreads of Thanksgiving meals and deliver them hot to them on Thanksgiving Day. And so we had over 25 homebound meal participants this year and 4 sets of volunteers that went out. And that's just a really great thing. And then one of the things that I found out from the Santa for Seniors is High Rocks Lounge. They actually cooked all those turkeys for them and made all that food. And I didn't know that. I didn't know where they got their food from actually, but I was with LT yesterday and she told me that they are the ones that buy and prepare all that food for them.
Oh, wow.
So I thought that was pretty cool that they're out there doing these different, community events. And that's up in Oregon City and that feeds everyone. So moving on to current and upcoming events, we did have our holiday market. I just did a little breakdown that I'll read to you guys. We started with the Kiwanis breakfast. This was on December 7th. Kiwanis just did donations only, and they did that from 8 to 10. And I guess they did really well. They had a lot of people come in for the pancake breakfast. Then we had our winter market go from 10 to 3. We sold 43 vendor spots. We had a variety of different crafts and makers. We had Santa on scene. We had live music. We had food ourselves from 10 to 3 that we pushed out of the kitchen, hamburgers, hot dogs, nachos, fresh baked cookies. I think that this was what drove everybody back there. And we staffed that whole thing with volunteers. So selling our booths and our food. And then we also had participants all year long in the crochet group. Crochet, Josie? Yes. Crocheting group. Make quilts. We had quilters or blankets, crocheted blankets. We had quilts that were made. We had these beautiful cedar boxes that were donated. We had just a variety of different things that people made and said, hey, we'd really like you guys to sell these during your bazaar and all the money go, back to the center. So that the food and our sales of our tables, the net profit that we brought in for the center was a little over $2,000. And we just deducted out, all our costs out of that. And then I did do a little bit of advertising this year because it seemed a little slow. So that had to come out of there as well. But I think that was a pretty good number, for a market. We'll just keep growing that every year. So lunch and learns. We've been on top of our lunch and learns. What did we do this month? The Historical Society did cancel with us, but they will be back in January. I'm going blank on what we did for our other lunch and learn, to tell you the truth.
You had lunch and you learned.
We had lunch and we learned what it was about. I'm not exactly sure. We've just had a ton of different things. Oh, I know what it was. I'm sorry, you guys. It was 2 weeks how to be prepared. So we've been doing a preparedness push for winter. And so we had emergency management come in and talk to everyone about how they should be prepared for ice storm, snow.
Very nice.
All of these different things that, might come up this winter. Santa for Seniors, we delivered our perishables yesterday. That's the program I was talking to you guys about last month, where High Rocks wanted to put up a tree, and it's basically people would come in and they would adopt a senior, and the seniors put on 3 wish lists or wish items onto their cards, and then they hung on a tree at High Rocks, and people came in and picked their names off and went and got these gifts for them that they put on there. LT told me that within a couple days, every single name was picked off the tree. We delivered the perishables yesterday. People couldn't be more grateful and excited for their items. And then next week, Deanna is going to meet her at High Rocks and load up all the rest of the gifts. And they're going to deliver those next week. And
That's
so,
fantastic.
and I wish I was going to be there just to see their faces, because seeing people yesterday, it almost brings you to tears, to tell you the truth, because the ones that we delivered yesterday were people who asked for like meat or a fresh Cobb salad, stuff like that. The items that, were essential to them that they probably don't get very often. So that's going to happen next week. We had our first annual holiday gift wrapping yesterday. The foundation, one of the foundation members, Kathy Prout, came up with the idea of having anybody really come in, but especially seniors who bring their gifts in, and we as in her, wrapped all these gifts that anyone wanted to bring in. So we had one couple that brought in every single holiday gift that they had, which she was very excited to get. We had other people that just brought in a couple gifts. We had everything for the most part, besides for the wrapping paper. We just had a plethora of ribbon and bows and little cute ornaments to tie on. Just the gifts looked absolutely beautiful when she was done with them. And she's also going to continue that, because multiple people said they couldn't come in yesterday. She's going to continue that gift wrapping tomorrow as well. Just the flexibility of that, I thought, was great from her. Holiday meal, last thing on the list. That was today. We had 68 people attend. We had live music. We had giveaways. Again, all the leftover stuff from the market, the quilts, and we handed out raffle tickets. And I'll let Bonnie talk a little bit more about that, because again, that was another foundation sponsored event, and we just couldn't do all these amazing parties and meals without them. So we're just really grateful for the foundation. And whoa, that's it.
Wonderful. Yay.
Wow. That's a lot of really, really wonderful things. I didn't know about the gift wrapping. That's so awesome.
You can still come in tomorrow.
No, I actually
Oh.
want to be the wrapper. I love wrapping gifts. So I'm thinking I'm going to get in on that next year if she needs a little elf helper or something. So, okay, I'm going to go over to Josie's house and wrap some stuff. Oh my gosh. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Michelle at this time?
I just love everything, Michelle, you've done. It is just so wonderful to have so many people with needs that they don't seem big, but to them means the world. So what a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And I'd like to
Agree.
say it isn't just for the seniors in Gladstone, but I see the
Mhm.
energy level at the center coming up to embrace the entire community.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm particularly thrilled about the involvement from the elementary school, from JWE. It's so fantastic that we've got these kids engaging, at the center with the people that frequent it. And I'm so excited for those programs.
Yeah, and my daughter was just asking me today if we'll ever kind of get away from just serving seniors. And I love everyone that comes in there, that has been coming in there for a very long time, but we really are trying our best to really push out that we want to include different activities for the whole community.
Yep.
And there's no reason that the youth and the seniors and everybody in between isn't playing games together or eating together, or we will always still have those crucial
Yes.
programs, hopefully that we have serving
Mhm.
our seniors. But the activity down at the center, we really, and me personally, that's going to be a really big push in 2025. Like, how do we get different types of people down there? So more to come on that. Always looking for ideas. So if anyone has any, just shoot them my way.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Michelle. All right, we'll move on to just a little bit of business from the board. So board appointments. First off, As you all know, the Gladstone Community Center Advisory Board had 3 vacancies come up, 3 terms. And at this time, we would really very much like to thank Simona Gergeson and Sylvia Kellner for their time and dedication while serving on this board. Thank you so much for
It was an honor and a pleasure.
Same here. It was an honor.
Thank you.
We got a
so
lot of
much.
things done.
Yes, yes, we did. And just, me personally, thank you so much for your thoughtfulness, your engagement, and everything that, we needed from a board during a very, very busy time.
Mhm.
A very busy time, for sure. So we would also like to welcome back Evelyn Johannesson.
Thank you.
Yay. All right. She's sticking. And of course, we would like to welcome in our newest board members who will be at their first meeting on January 21st. And that will be Tony Bergeron, thank you. And Joelle Lactu. Okay. Had that written down a little wrong. Okay, thank you so much to Tony and Joelle for applying for board positions, and we are ready to welcome you next month. So thank you so much. Does anybody have anything else they want to add to that? Okay, so coming up at our January 21st meeting, the board will be voting in a chair and a vice chair. So get ready for that. Okay. The only other update I really have is that we are going to have the Gladstone Community Center Advisory Board's work plan that we all voted in. This is the work plan for the 2024-25 years, will be presented to the Gladstone City Council by Michelle Prusso and City Administrator Betts. So I'm not doing anything on that this year. That will be handled by Michelle and Jackie. So that is all I have for business from the board. Does anybody else have anything at this time? All right, great. So we will go ahead and move on to business from the audience. Foundation update. Thanks, Bonnie.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. Happy holidays too, if I don't remember to say that. Michelle covered most things. The Friendsgiving was just a wonderful event. I'm not sure how many of you came. I know a couple of you did. Yeah. And it was packed. And we had so much food that the chef, I don't remember his name, Brian, put together and cooked for 3 days. And you peeled potatoes for hours. Sharon peeled the potatoes. We appreciate that. But it was well received. Everybody ate too much, and it was just really a great event. We were happy to be able to produce that. I wanted to compliment Kathy, and I completely forgot about that today, and I will tell her on Thursday she came up with the idea of the gift wrapping. And she came to me and she said, do you think the board would pay for the materials? And we said, of course. And so, she was able to put that together and it was a success, and she's going to repeat it. So I think that's a real plus for our community. This week, the homebound meals drivers are, in addition to our food of the day, are distributing the stockings that the so-and-so group puts together. And the foundation provides a gift card from Fred Meyer's for each stocking. And so we're looking Jal and I are looking forward to doing that on Thursday when we deliver our meals. And that's always just a real smiley time too, when you give somebody something and then they'll get something else again next week, which is just great. And they're items that people can use. It's not knickknacks and stuff. It's hand cream and soap and toothpaste and socks and gloves. And, the ladies really think a lot about what they can get that would be useful. And I think that's just a real, and then we put the card in to just help with supplementing however they want to use it. And then today's holiday lunch wasn't as well attended as the Friendsgiving, but it was very nice. Michelle and staff cooked the food: ham, green beans, cheesy potatoes. And we had rolls, and then we had a variety of pies and cakes and cookies for dessert. And again, everyone ate as much as they possibly could, and it was very good. We had music playing, and it was just a real nice time. And then we raffled off the remainder of the gifts from the market, and that's kind of fun too. So we really were able to wrap up the year with another really fun event for the center. And we really do, when we get together in our meetings, we really do enjoy putting or sponsoring these 4 meals a year: the Mother's Day and the 50th anniversary, Friendsgiving, and the holiday. We really enjoy doing that. And we have one project that I think we're still working on. Pretty sure we're still working on. We had a woman who's one of our homebound meal delivery people whose roof collapsed in the last really big rain before this, in the big rain. And she was just a mess. And Michelle called me and told me about it. I wasn't sure. So we contacted Ralph Mateel, who helps Neighbor to Neighbor. And we were trying to figure out about putting a tarp over, what we could do to help her immediately. And then Ralph suggested that I called Chief Schmerber. So I got Chief Schmerber involved. And then he got his officer, I can't think of what he's called, community officer, who went over on a welfare check. And she was cold and wet and very, very upset and sad. And so we tried to get a team together. We were all kind of working together. And I don't know who called Greg Alexander. Was that you?
Yeah, Ralph had suggested that we call Greg, who knew a roofer.
Okay, yeah.
So,
And it got to the point where it was so badly damaged, they couldn't even tarp it without it crumbling in. And Michelle and her husband were over there trying very hard to do that. Social services came and spent quite a bit of time with her to try to convince her to leave. She didn't want to leave her home, and she needed desperately to leave her home. And so with Michelle's help and social services help, then they were able to take her to one of the local hospitals. And I don't know if she's still there.
she's been, I'd just like to add the house, the roof had been leaking for so long down the sides that she had no electricity in the home, no heat, and the whole home was filled with black mold. I was actually physically ill for just being in there for a couple hours all weekend. Because so imagine living in that for years. No one had, it was in it. I would also like to point out our initial contact that noticed the caved in roof was our Meals on Wheels drivers.
Yeah, the driver.
So it's just really reiterates how important it is to deliver these meals every day where you have eyes on people.
Wow.
She went to the hospital. and she was in the hospital for 2 weeks. And just a couple of days ago, because she was actually being treated for mold poisoning as well, we're trying to get her onto Medicaid currently, so that she can go into an assisted living facility, because unfortunately the trailer is condemned now and is a complete loss due to the molds. It turned into more than we thought. It wasn't, we were going to put on a new roof.
A lot, yeah.
So we were just going to tear the roof off, get her, over the weekend, get her back in there. It turned out where we could not do that because every single wall and appliance and clothing had mold this thick throughout the whole home, black fuzzy mold.
Grief.
So she couldn't take anything with her, which is where the foundation hopefully is going to come back in once we get her placed into an assisted living home. Right now, she's living with her disabled son in a studio apartment until we can bridge that gap with Medicaid and the assisted living.
Yeah.
So that's where we're at with that.
That's amazing.
The program through the county will hopefully help her find affordable
Yeah.
living. And then we're going to be available to provide clothing and whatever kind of householdy things that she would need to get kind of set back up. But it's just such a devastating loss for her, and it
Sure.
so serious for her health. And it just, to me, it's the community.
Yeah.
Everybody jumped on that and
That's
Really
great
got it.
job.
really got it,
Fantastic job.
taken care of. And it was a real testament to how important it is to have the drivers there every day
Yeah.
and checking in on people. And we're the same way. I have one lady, I have never seen her face. I just have a hand that I put the food in. And door crack, she has a dog. The smell is horrible. And I try to talk with her, but she just is ready to shut the door. So I don't know what's going on in there, but it's a very needed program. But anyway, that's kind of what we're hoping to be able to help with once she gets settled and find out what she needs to do. We'd be glad to help. I think that's about it for us to wind up the year, and then we'll start again. And I just want to compliment Michelle and Deanna and the staff and the board at all of the fantastic coordination and work that goes on at the center as things have just gotten more and more exciting and so many things going on all the time. And it's just nice to drop in and see everything that's going on. So that's all I have to add.
I just wanted to add too, it's 50 stockings that they're filling with these gift cards, and that the so-and-sos, they're 55 or 50.
I did 50.
Okay, so 50 stockings. So it's a lot of stockings. And I'm sorry that I forgot about that. I've already had 3 people call in and say, are you guys doing those stockings? I mean, they look forward to those
Oh, yeah.
stockings.
Sure.
So, I mean, these are their only gifts, for most of these people. So.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Well, I am feeling particularly grateful for many things after hearing a story like that. And one of the things that I am incredibly grateful for is this community, because wow. I honestly I can't articulate, but very grateful for everybody in this community. Heartfelt. Does anybody else have anything?
I would like to mention, in the case that you were talking about, the lady with the house, a couple of things that come to mind, and then the other person that just puts her at their hand. I don't know if you've ever, in those Meals on Wheels, have ever contacted Adult Protective Services. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. They can go out and do a welfare check and see if they can't, because you said the smell is really strong. It could be that person is living in a situation that's not healthy for her also. And then the other house, makes me think of weatherization. If somebody had gotten her involved in a weatherization program a number of years ago, it's about a 3-year wait. I live in a mobile home, and with that, you can get electrical work done, a new roof, and new windows, and they can do other things too. Of course, and somebody could help with that paperwork from the center if she had case management services. But it takes someone, that may be something to think about, is on our end, somebody approaching her, even though she's on the Meals on Wheels, about getting involved in some other services that may help her. We had somebody in our mobile home park that she went to live with her daughter, but it turns out her house was just mold everywhere. And a neighbor saw that she was living outside on her back porch, and she was potting in the bushes behind her house because her house was not livable. And they finally got her to go live with her daughter. And they think that she had developed some mental health issues from living in that. And I saw it when we have a community owned park now, and we had to have it demolished. They had to wear hazmat outfits and everything. It was just unbelievable. I couldn't imagine when they started tearing the walls down what the mold looked like. So anyway,
It's extremely toxic.
It is, yes.
And how long a person lives in that environment has to affect their health, their brain.
Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah,
just
well,
wanted
thank
to
you for that.
put that out. Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay, thank you so much, everybody. I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Roxanne.
And I second the motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Sharon. Okay, Haley, would you call the vote, please?
Evelyn Johannesson,
Yes.
Sylvia Kellner,
Yes.
Simona Gergashon,
Yes.
Mindy Prosky,
Yes.
Roxanne McMullen,
Yes.
Josie Whitaker,
Yes.
Sharon Howard.
Yes.
Meeting is adjourned at 4:03 p.m. The next meeting will be on January 21st at 3:30 p.m. Thank you, everyone.